What's good, y'all? What's up with it? Ow! It's your girl, Poppy. I mean, Poppy J, if you feeling spicy. And baby, we're back with a brand new episode of Pop Talk. As you guys know, I am highlighting the now and future of young Black excellence through the AT&T Rising Future Maker class of 2022. Today's special guest is a young fashion killer, and he don't mind showing off his style as an influencer on social media. I'm so excited to have Tamon Frisby join me today. So y'all don't go anywhere and stay tuned for this episode of Pop Talk. What's good, y'all? What's up? It's your girl, Poppy J. Yeah. High five, Jesus. Woo! Welcome to Pop Talk, y'all. We have Mr. Tamon in the building. I'm so excited and so glad to have him on the show today. I'm going to go ahead and give him the floor to introduce himself to the Pop Talk community.
So how y'all doing? Again, my name is Tamon Frisby. I'm a recent graduate of Delaware State University with a Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communications, and I'm aspiring influencer, model, actor, and even pursuing creative directing. So follow me on Instagram at tam.on and follow my business page at Don's Creative World. So that's pretty much it.
Yes, come on, intro. I mean, I'm so glad that you just said everything I needed to hear. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show again. Let's go ahead and get into this gig. So, I mentioned a little bit earlier before that you are killing it in the fashion lane. Okay. On social media, I be seeing your reels and posts. I'm like, come on now, get ready with me. But I feel like you would consider yourself kind of like a jack of all trades, right? And so you kind of labeled a couple of things that you do. I just want to know, like, where does your inspiration come from in being in such a creative, like, industry with all of the modeling and fashion? Like, where does your inspiration come from?
Honestly, growing up, I just always wanted to be famous. Like, if anybody would ask me like what you want to do, I didn't necessarily like have like an ideal job. It was just like, oh, I want to be famous. And like now just growing up and just seeing the way of social media and just technology period, the way it's just developing, all that, people get famous and just do whatever. From now we have influencing and just that, like, when did that come about? Like, it's just things like that. So it's just like, aside from that, just trying to figure out how to do that, it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna dipple and dabble in everything. So it's just like, it wasn't pretty much a what to do, it was just like, how am I gonna get there? And it's just like, now that I have
Mm.
all these platforms to try, it's just like, why not, like.
Yeah. And no, a lot of people don't have that thought, like, I'm going to
Yeah,
be famous
that's
one
like
day.
not
So I think
everybody.
it's quite interesting that is, kind of how you thought when you were growing up and how you're just kind of moving in that. I love that for you. So when it comes to having to create content and just really, like you said, having so many different platforms, have you ever hit creative roadblocks in your journey? And if so, do you have advice on how to kind of push through those moments at all?
Definitely. Because at the same time, it's like you don't want to be repetitive, but at the same time, you still want to try to figure out how to stand out. And I feel like an issue that as a community we sometimes see, which I don't really think it's a bad thing, but sometimes again, it's just communities can be just negative sometimes, that sometimes somebody would be like, oh, you're trying to be like this person. When not necessarily,
Mhm.
sometimes it's not like you're trying to be like the next person. It's like you aspire to be in their shoes. So it's like you're taking the same road that they did or doing the same things that they did to get to where they are. So it's just like sometimes it's things like that. But honestly, I feel like when you have like your own personality, I think that's the thing that sometimes we get lost trying to figure out who we are on camera, because it's different off camera. But when you're on camera, it's like, show who you are, and it's like that'll set you apart, even if you're doing the same get ready with me or just things like that. Like, for example, the YouTuber Diera, she's popping now and everybody knows who she is
Yes.
for her. Aside from
Mhm.
her being with Ken in that relationship, but it's like now that she's on her and she's just doing her whole thing, people love her for her. So it's like at some point in time, like when you get to build your own audience, people won't even necessarily care what you're doing. They're just gonna love you because it's you.
In building your audience, like, kind of take us through that journey, because you're really going up, and I love that for you. I've been watching you. I've been watching you since I've met you. But just in building your audience, kind of tell us a little bit more about like how that got started, when you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna go. Kind of take us on that journey.
So it really didn't hit me until I think it was like right before, like a few months before we even got picked for the Rising Future Maker thing. So I was like, all right, I'm going on TikTok. TikTok is popping right now, and everybody's starting to do like the get ready with me's. And I'm like, me, I like to get dressed. So I'm like, okay, maybe I could start like that and just figure it out. But it really didn't like get crazy until like I was about to graduate. And I was like, all right, I got to think of like something that's scary be like different. Cause like me, like, I don't know, when it comes to like taking pictures and all that and like just doing photo shoots, like that's my forte. Like that's even sparked my interest in creative directing. So it wasn't until I did that and I had did my alpha grad shoot, and I knew that one was gonna go crazy, but like
That one went wild.
I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way that it did. So when it did, and it was just like, dang, like it's getting posted everywhere, and it's like I did a TikTok on it, like just showing like the behind the scenes on it. It got like over 500,000 views, like, and
Ooh,
it was
I did
going
not see
crazy.
that TikTok. You gonna have to
Yeah,
share
it's
that with
still.
me.
I
Send
should have
it to
posted
me.
it on
Send it to me. You
Instagram.
should
Yeah.
have. You should have.
But I had posted that, and then like the icing on the cake was when the shade room posted it. I was like, oh wow, like if I'm able to do this, like didn't even think I would be able to do it a few months back, just trying to do like some get ready with me's in my room. But it's just like, see how far you really can take it if you just continue to stay consistent.
I mean, at this point, might as well. But before we move into your HBCU experience, because I definitely want to, hear all about Delaware State. I did notice a new title pop up into your Instagram bio, creative director at Don's Creative World. And you kind of talked a little bit about it, but you want to spill a little bit more tea. Where are we going with that?
So this is pretty much like a self-employed entrepreneur route that I'm trying to take. So when I did the grad shoots and all that, everybody was like, "Oh my god, who thought gave you these ideas? Who like helped you do this?" I'm like, nobody. Like I did it on my own. Like I was doing this even before I really announced that I was starting a business. Like all my friends who graduated, or
Gotcha.
any of my friends who had like shoots or something and they want to do it, oh, I'm going to take mine because I know that he's gonna have this fire idea or he's gonna do this. So it's like
Gotcha.
I've been doing
Okay.
it without the title, but like now it's like I didn't really know a creative director was like a thing until somebody was like, no, you should be. And I started looking it up and like, wow, like I could really make a living off of this. I was talking to one of a really good photographers, my fraternity brother, JR the Kid Productions, who took all of my grad pictures, and he's
I have heard that name.
yeah,
I've
he's a
heard that
really
name. I
well
feel like I've
known
seen I've seen his work everywhere.
all around. He travels.
Yeah.
He's mainly he's a Delaware State alum, so we all know him. And it was just
Gotcha.
like,
Okay, cool. You learn something new every
yes,
day.
and now that he has his
Okay.
business and all that, he was just like, like stop really playing with your potential. Like you can really take this as far as you want it. Only like if you're ready. So I was like, honestly, I am. We young, and it's just like if I feel like I can do it, who's stopping me but me. So
Exactly. Yeah. And especially being like a fresh graduate, you really kind of have options. So
yeah.
why not dive into what you want to do? Come on, creative director. Okay. And so I'm glad that you mentioned your fraternity brother because if y'all don't know, now you know he is a good man of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity
Yeah.
Incorporated. And I really want to talk about that because I'm also in the D9 family. But like, how do you feel like joining Greek life enhance your undergraduate experience? Aside from, of course, networking, which you've already kind of talked about there, but like just kind of going to college, going to university, what made you say, I want to go Greek? What made you choose Alpha?
I'm first gen HBCU and just college period. Like none of my family went to college. But when it came to Greek life, I really didn't have no guidance. At the time, Alphas wasn't on the yard at my university. So the photographer that I just mentioned, he's also Alpha, so my fraternity brother, but he was the advisor of one of our organizations on campus. And I was like, I just really look up to him. Like, like
Yeah.
he was just a great person. Like everybody knew him, like for him, like, and I didn't even know he was alpha at the time. So I was like, no, I just really look up to him. So when I found out that he was alpha, I'm like, oh, this is the icing on the cake. So like because I was already doing my research,
Yeah.
which org, like really like stuck out to me. And alphas are just leaders, like in just their own person. I feel as though that you're a representation of who you surround yourself with. So I want to surround myself with people who are leading the pack, the people who are, helping other people get to where they're trying to go, the people who, just again, good people destined for greatness. And it's just like, that was alpha for me, so it's just like, when I was like, all right, this is it. It's like, it was no brainer. And once I found out that he was an alpha, I'm like, we're already close. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, yeah. It's the mentors. It really is the mentors because I kind of have a similar story with me and Zeta. When I was growing up, I had a mentor and did not know she was Greek whatsoever. Had no idea what Greek life was, like literally. And she was an older woman in my church. And I went to undergrad. And I think around my sophomore year, after church one day, she said, "Now you got a sophomore, right?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "You thinking about Greek life?" I looked at her like, "You don't even know nothing about Greek life for real." And I told her when I was, I was like, "I'm looking at Zeta." And she was like, "I knew it. I knew it from the moment I met you. I am a finer woman." I was like, whoa, icing on the cake. So I definitely can relate to that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about Delaware State. Now, I am not a northerner. I'm not up there in the north. I don't really know nothing about it. So you're going to have to take it slow. So let me know, like, are you from Delaware? Are you from that area? Like, how did you get interested in Delaware State? Like, how did that whole decision come about? Where'd that come from?
Like, people don't even know where Delaware is.
At
But
all. Truth be told, I'm not even
I
gonna
am
lie to
from
y'all. Why would
Delaware.
I lie? I can't lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
That's crazy. I am from Delaware though. And it's so crazy because I wasn't supposed to go to DSU. At first, I really didn't even apply to too many colleges as well. That's a fun fact as well. But again, my school, just high school, being in Delaware, they make you apply to every higher institution in Delaware. So University of Delaware,
Okay.
Delaware State, Del Tech, they just make you apply because, like, even if you don't go to school, at least you can say that you've applied to these colleges. So when things didn't work out for me at Lincoln for like financial reasons, they like took a scholarship away at like the last minute. So it's like it would just been too much out of pocket. I'm like, oh well, I applied to Del State, and I got in, so I guess I'm gonna go. And it was just ended up like that. But I feel like God works in mysterious ways. Like, it's just
Yeah.
the way He works is just really like crazy. And it's just like, I'm grateful that I didn't go because it's like I wouldn't have been where I was at DSU. And I was like, regardless of where I end up, I just want to make a name for myself, really show out. Because again, I'm first gen college, and it's just like, again, I want to be able to, do so well that my family to come, it's like, oh, I want to go to college, or I do this now. And granted, I was able to do that. Thank
Yeah.
God, but it's just like now, this like, oh, I want to go, like my little cousins on it. Now I want to go to college and all that, and they just see me doing now. So it's like, yes, like now everybody's doing what they,
Literally paving the way for
yeah.
like the things that you can see right now. That's so beautiful. I think it's great that you did end up going to Delaware State. Like you said, God works in mysterious ways. High five, Jesus. Okay, period. Because obviously that allows you and me to be in this really cool class of the AT&T Rising Future Makers. I'm telling everybody this because I want to hear how you guys learned about the program. But I'm a grad student at PV. So everything for me has just been untraditional, I guess, in a sense, especially for this program that is truly focused, I think, on undergraduate students. But I learned about this opportunity on Instagram from an ad from Ice-T, the rapper. Yeah. So Ice-T popped up on my Instagram feed and he was like, "You HBCU student?" And I was like, "I am." And he was like, "Apply to be a Ross Future Maker." And I was like, "You know what? I will, Ice-T." Why not? And it just kind of worked out for me. But I would love to know how you heard about the AT&T Rising Future Maker program.
I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna sound so crazy, but it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, and I just could not sleep for some reason. And again, just like you, I was going through Instagram and
Oh, yes. Wait.
what
Yes.
is his name? I
Yes.
forget
I'm
his
not the
name.
only one.
What's the I hope you don't shame me for this if this ever goes out. But what's his name that was on House of Pain? Calvin? What's his name? What's his name?
No, what is that man name? He's so fine. I know who you're talking
But
about.
yeah, him. He was
Mm-hmm.
basically like talking about it, like apply to be a rising feature maker and all this and that. I didn't even know about the money at the time. Like I seen it, but I was like, I wasn't really paying attention to it. It was just saying like, if you're an HBCU student, we doing this. I was like, then I started looking at the first class that did it. I'm like, oh, like they went to like North Carolina, and they like this is a real thing. So
Yes, it's a
I
real
was
thing.
like,
Thank you.
let me
Thank you.
just whip up something real quick. I'm in my bed just like 3 o'clock in the morning, just doing voice recording like this is me, like at 3, and I just sent it in. I was like, that was a fire video, so hopefully they like it. If not, it was good. Like, and then I had got an email back when I was at work, and it was like, you've been selected. I was like, oh, that's tough. Like, that's lit. That was lit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, you are giving me life right now. Okay. Because everybody else has been like, oh, I heard from it from my honors director at the school and such as I'm like, y'all, I was in real
I was
life
on
scrolling on
Instagram.
Instagram.
I was on Instagram, and I just happened to click there at the right time. I was like, wow.
Yes.
That's
No,
why I say it's crazy the way God works. Like,
it
it's
is,
crazy.
isn't it?
It's
He really
crazy.
does. He orders your steps, whether you realize it or not. He truly does.
I was like,
So I'm glad that it worked out. I'm glad that that 3 a.m.
yes.
video got chosen.
I know. I was they probably no, because the people who were at the AT&T locations, when you go to AT&T and they give you your box, it was like, oh my God, we just loved your video, and it was just so. I was like, oh, I did that in my bed. Like I was just
You're gonna
laying
have to
down.
show me the video at this point. Show us the video.
Greetings and salutations. I am Tamon Frisby, a senior mass communication scholar at the illustrious Delaware State University. And what makes me a rising future maker is the influence I have with my platform as a student leader at my illustrious institution. Throughout my matriculation at Delaware State University, I've held a variety of student leadership positions, like Mr. Junior, the third HBCU Mr. People's Choice, a member of Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, a student ambassador for Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and so much more that has shaped and molded me into the man of distinction I am today. Support from AT&T will take my dreams to the next level by giving me an opportunity to inspire the youth and be the vessel in my community that shows that hard work and determination pays off. I've been blessed to get this far, but I know as the next rising future maker, my journey to success is just getting started.
Yes, that was everything. That was I would have picked you
Thank
too,
you.
period.
Now, mind you, that was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep. I was like, oh, let me just like knock this out. Cause I was like, if I go to sleep, I'm gonna forget. So I was like, let me just do it now. Like,
To know that you made that at 3 a.m. scrolling through Instagram, it was like, you know what? Let me do a little voiceover. Let me add these in there. That is
yeah,
really good. That's really good. I
thank
love that. Come on, video. Come on, Rise of Future Maker.
you.
Okay, well, I have one more question. It's my last one. As a rising future maker, tell us what fuels your future.
Don't let your dreams die out. Like I have
Mm.
dreams that are so big. Like even though I'm talking about how I just want to be famous, it's just like I just want to be like I have a vision, and God gives you visions for a reason, especially if they're repetitive. You don't let them slip by. So it's like I've been getting these visions and just having these dreams that I could really make it as an influencer. Like aside like the millions of followers on Instagram, not even just for doing or trying to keep up with the trend. It's just me being me just showing my personality and just being someone that people actually, genuinely want to see. And it's just like that's what keeps me going. Like the lifestyle, just the setting up a camera. Like I could be in the middle of a crowd right now. Here I am setting up my camera, talking. Everybody's like, "What's up with him?"
Yes.
That's just me, So it's just like that's what keeps me going. And it's just like when other people see, like, "Oh, I saw your video," or you got that one subscriber, or I'll subscribe to your channel. Like even though it's just one and it's slow and steady, that's what keeps me going. That like people are actually invested, like it was
Mm-hmm.
people are invested in you. And it's just like, oh, we haven't saw a video from you in a while. We said so it's like little things like that. So it's like that's what keeps me going. Like just remembering my why, the dreams and vision that I got, and just remembering that it's really a whole community that's behind me. Like Delaware is not a big state. It's not something that's just
I'm
like,
telling you, there's a lot of little states up there in the
yeah,
north. That's why I said I am not a northerner.
like
I'm not a
so
northerner.
Delaware isn't really some place where a lot of people make it. And it's just like I feel like I could really make it. So it's just like that's what keeps me going. That's like it's possible if you just willing to put in the work, So
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
thank
story,
you.
sharing your heart, your mind. I know I enjoyed the interview, and I'm pretty sure the Pop Talk community did as well. But this episode is not over yet. It's never over because I love to play games. So let's get into this game, honey. So today's game is called What Would Tamon Do? What's good, y'all? Skydiving or bungee jumping?
Skydiving.
Fly or drive?
Depending, but probably fly.
Okay. Silver or gold?
Silver.
Would you rather travel at night or travel during the day?
At night. Therapeutic.
Black or white?
Black.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Yes. Yes,
Rihanna.
yes, 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 yes. I love her too. Thank you so much for saying that. You just got like a million more brownie points than you already had. Okay. What's good, y'all? Are you ready to think about this? What would Tamon do? First question. If you had the ability to travel back in time, what event would you go back to witness?
I like that question. I would say I could go back and wow, I'm like stuck a little bit.
Any event, what would you go back to witness?
This is kind of like recent, but really just graduation, like college graduation. Like that was just, it was so recent, but like I really could redo that day again just because it just feels so surreal. Like college, I literally was just a freshman yesterday. Like,
yeah.
And it's just so crazy that now I didn't graduate. Like the way that time flies, like, and it's so crazy. Like going through, I was like, oh my God, I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to graduate. Now that I graduated, it's just like, wow, like you got what you asked for. Like you didn't graduate it. So it's just like, if I could redo that day, like that day was just perfect. Like, I happened that day. It's just like, if I could redo it, I would really do that day. So
okay, I love that. Okay. Question number 2. Which of the 7 dwarves would you be and why? We have Sleepy, Grumpy, Happy, Sneezy, Dopey, Bashful, or Doc.
probably Happy. Anytime anybody see me, it's like, oh, Tamon's a good person, or like he's always happy, he's always upbeat. So when I'm not like, if I'm in a mood or I'm just not around like up to par or something, I won't surround myself by anybody. I'll hide out and all that until I get rid of my mood because like I'm a believer that you can put out your energy. So it's like if my energy is like negative and it's down, then it's everybody else negative down. So it's like I don't even like doing that. So
yeah,
happy though, because every time somebody see me, I got a smile on my face. So
yes, come on, Happy. Okay, we have one more question for the hypothetical round. Ooh, and here it is. What would Tamon choose? Okay, would you become more intelligent at the cost of your happiness? Probably. So you could get more intelligence, but your happiness would go down depending on how much you get. So would you say, give me more intelligence?
Probably not, honestly, because it's just like, I don't know, like you can be as smart as you want, but if you're not happy in life, it's just like, like you feel like you won't have no like sense of living. Like you can be smarty pants, but like that's probably like somebody who's like, can you help me test? No, get your own answers. Like, like
right. Yeah, you do. Yes.
Yeah, like no, like I don't know. Like like that just feeling of just being genuinely happy, like nothing can compare to that. Like that joy, that feeling of just joy, like everything's good in life. Like, So
yes. Okay. That was a good hypothetical. What's good, y'all? You are asked to give a TED Talk speech. What is your topic?
Influencing 101, how to be your best you on camera.
Ooh, write that down. Write it down right now because we're gonna make that a thing. That's a really good topic, and I can see you doing really good on that too.
Thank you.
Write that down. Don't forget it, because if I don't write it down, I'll forget. So write it down. Keep that, and go ahead and start working on that because I feel like that's gonna happen. What's good, y'all? Well, all right, good people. That's all we have for you. To Tamon, I just want to say thank you again for coming on Pop Talk today. I just truly enjoyed your story, and I cannot wait to watch you continually rise in this social media and influencer world. To all the watchers out there, I would not be here without you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends, your mama, your daddy, your uncles, your cousins, everybody you know. Go ahead and tell them about Pop Talk, because might as well. But with that being said, it's your girl Poppy.
And I'm Tamon.
And we are both signing out. Peace, love, and blessings. Remember to live your life with hashtag all smiles. High five, G. Woo!